Jewish names. They all have Greek names. They fixed the problem. They figured out how to deal with it. And in verse 3, it says, and you find people that are filled with the Holy Spirit. Look at verse 5. And they chose Stephen, a man full of faith and full of the Holy Spirit. And so what does he do? He does the smallest things. He distributes the food to the widows. He cleans the tables. He acts like a waiter. He does the smallest task. And here's the truth. If you'll do small things well, God will give you more. If you want more to do, then do the little things very well. And note what it says in verse 8. Stephen, full of faith and great power. He did wonders among the people. He starts praying for people and miracles are happening. And you can't really argue with it, but some of the religious leaders, they see this man Stephen and they see these miracles that are being wrought and they start arguing with him. And they say, this man Stephen says that the temple's not necessary, that it's going to be destroyed. And they grabbed him and they brought him before the religious leaders for a trial. And in Acts chapter 7, you see the last words of Stephen. It's filled with such wisdom. This guy was waiting on tables just a day ago. And now God's using him for miracles. And now God is using him to speak wise all over everybody. This is the longest sermon in the book of Acts is spoken by the deacon Stephen. It's like any last words, and he's like pulling out the biggest book you can find. Yeah, I got some last words. Let me tell you, in the beginning, and he goes way back, and he starts talking about Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Joseph and Egypt. And really, it's really subtle what he does. He says God didn't just use the temple. Before there was a temple, God was speaking. God spoke through a burning bush. God was with them in Egypt. God was with them as the river split. God was with them in the land of Canaan. God has been with our people all these years. But there's always been a prophet. And there's always been people like you who kill prophets. And God sent Jesus. And he came and he fulfilled every prophecy. And you hung him on a cross. And you killed him. The jury is not really going in his favor at this point. As he's pointing fingers at him. But they couldn't resist his wisdom. And so they grabbed him in anger. And they drug him out of the city. And they grabbed rocks to stone him. And Stephen would be the first Christian martyr. Here's a man that understood there are levels to this game, isn't there? There's a level when you put your faith in Jesus Christ and you're born again. And then there's that next level where you start serving in the little things. And then there's another level where all of a sudden miracles and prayers are being answered. And then there's another level where you're teaching the religious leaders. I want all of us to level up today. He got to that next level because, number one, he was faithful. He was a fixer. He was somebody that was filled with the Holy Spirit. More than 2,000 years ago, Herod the Great built this massive aqueduct. And for hundreds of years, water flowed to Jerusalem and to Judea. And this aqueduct was famous for bringing water. It worked for hundreds of years. And then when modern plumbing came in, they didn't need the aqueduct anymore. So they started taking it apart. A museum said, we want a section of it. And they took a large section and they put it in the museum. And this aqueduct that had worked for hundreds of years, within days, fell apart. Dust, collapsed, just broke down. And they say, well, this lasted so long. Why is it falling apart now? Because there's no cold water on it. That's why. It fell apart when it was no longer useful. It fell apart when it wasn't useful anymore. We fall apart when we stop serving other people. It's the little things in life that we got to do. In Hebrews chapter 13, it says, look for those church leaders that serve the Lord with joy. Big smile face. Let me tell you,